Morning. Welcome to Cliff Hughes Online here on Nationwide 90 FM. Kevin, are you hearing me clearly? All right. And a very good morning to you out there in audience land, not just radio land. It's a pleasure to be here and going to spend some time this morning talking about, well, how the program will run this morning, Nora. Up to 10:30, I'll be with you, and then we'll be playing from 10:30 that uh, the fifth stop, Nora? Was it the fifth? The fourth stop. That's the one from Montego Bay. Yes, the one from Montego Bay. The fourth stop on the community church restoration and repair initiative uh, undertaken by the Social Development Commission in concert with the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. And we were in Montego Bay, St. James for that one. And we'll be bringing the best bits of that to you. Where I want to go this morning is this place. As I look at Jamaica and having driven to Montego Bay, St. James on Wednesday and driven to Darliston in Westmoreland on Thursday. I've never been to Darliston before. I think the furthest I've been, when you come middle quarters and you go right, you go up to Newmarket side. I think I went to Betheltown once when I was working with the National Environment and Planning Agency, a community meeting with farmers talking about soil in my former role as a public education officer at NEPA. And that was the only time I'd gone that direction. So much of what I saw yesterday I was seeing for the first time in terms of the lay of the land. And when we were returning from Westmoreland, from Darliston, we drove the other way. We went through Sav and came the other way. And I looked at many places that I had known from my childhood. And of course, you would have heard stories from people about how Westmoreland looked. You know, houses on stilts and a lot of wooden houses and things. The parish is changing. The parish is changing. And the homes look much better, many of them. And there are clear signs that the people are in a position to invest in their own surroundings, invest in their homes, and where a lot of help is still needed, that's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. People are doing well by themselves, sufficient for them to be able to make their homes look good. And it was good to see that. And so the homes look good, the communities look good, the town looks good, and the place is looking good. Can look a lot better, of course. And especially after what Melissa did. You know, it would have looked even better before Melissa. But the chance is there to rebuild and come back better. And as I looked at the parts of Westmoreland I saw on Thursday, and the parts of St. James I saw, and coming through Trelawney and St. and you know the whole North Coast run to Moby, you know how that is, many of you. I said to myself, well, for so many places that appeared backward in my youth, underdeveloped when I was a boy, which have now developed and are developing fast and looking good. What the devil is wrong with Spanish Town? That's the question I asked on Wednesday. And it's the question I asked on Thursday. Spanish Town, the town center, is now that backward place that open air dungeon. And let me explain what I mean. A dungeon is usually somewhere where there's no light, dark, dank, D-A-R-K, D-A-N-K, hiding horrors. But if you could make a dungeon come up to light, and you could look in and see the horrible conditions, you know, garbage, human waste, this, that, and just look unsightly and smell bad. And you say, this is a dungeon come up to the light. That's what Spanish Town is. And I remember as a high school student, little boy, may have been about grade 7 or 8. It would have been in the summer between grade 7 and grade 8 that it happened. One incident in Spanish Town that many people will tell you they twin with the start of the decline of the old capital, the town center. And that incident was the murder of a man they called Candon. And I was looking through the Supreme Court documents relating to the men charged and convicted with the murder of Errol Candon. And as I read the account of what happened, I said to myself, boy, there was a time in this country when the murderers and the gangsters ruled. When everybody and their mama know that Klansman had Spanish Town like this, that one order had Spanish Town like this. And we had a government in place. We had a security apparatus in place. Everything we have now in terms of institutions were in place. There was no Indicom, of course. But apart from Indicom, which of course represents the check and balance on the actions of. So those responsible for the actions were there. Those things were there. And the gangsters held Spanish Town in the grip. So the impact of what Clans and One Order did to Spanish Town in the 90s is being felt today sufficient for the town being incapable of releasing itself from the grasp, of coming up for air, of gasping for clean breath, for a full breath, for filling the lungs of the town. The police have done a tremendous job to get rid of the hoodlums, of the gangsters. But the gangsters' grip was so long, so sustained, and so deathly that Spanish Town's heart barely beating. June 1993, the record reads, June 11, 1993, at about 9:20 a.m., Mr. Errol Khan, the proprietor of Candon Enterprises Limited, Spanish Town in St. Catherine, was shot to death in an ambush set up on Old Market Street as he was en route by car to the bank to lodge proceeds of sales. Let me stop there. When this happened on June 11, 1993 at 9:20 a.m., let me tell you this. Anybody who knows Spanish Town or the environs, anywhere near, so if you have Spanish Town as the pinpoint and you plot some points around it in a 360-degree distribution. So you go up Linstead, you go Old Harbour, you go south to Portmore, Hillshire, you come east to Ferry and well, not even Ferry so far, Central Village, Sufferers Heights, now Windsor Heights now, White Marl, you come further up Caymanas Ferry now, right? Riverton, New Haven right there, so that whole distribution. Women bawled and held their belly bottom. Picnic ball, big man ball. There are adults in my community who I saw bawl for the first and only time when the mayor said Candon dead. It was one of the most seismic, consequential murders in my youth. And if I check it back, if I run back the stats, it is one of the most consequential murders in my lifetime. I never met him, I never knew him. I never shopped at Camden Enterprise. I was a little boy. But to hear the people talk about this man, it was like Jesus in nowadays human being form. I've never heard of a kinder human being than the man they called Camden, Errol Khan. Never. And so people who just shopped there, who heard of the kindness of the man, who were touched by the kindness of the man, even people who he never gave anything, but because of how people spoke about him, them bawl when they hear how Camden car, how it was told to us. Mr. Camden in him car come, I got the bank. And one little boy push a hand card across the road, causing him to stop. And then gunman run out. Boy, boy, boy. And the rest is history. Let me take the break and come back and tie it all together for you.
Time brought to you by the Ministry of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Fueling growth everywhere is
10:15.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by KFC. It's finger licking good. Bosnia-Herzegovina has qualified for the World Cup twice, first in 2014 and again in 2026, marking its emergence as an independent footballing nation. Before independence, Bosnian players represented Yugoslavia, which participated in 8 World Cups between 1930 and 1990. Bosnia-Herzegovina, one of the teams participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals, and you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM during our live and extended coverage of the greatest show on earth. That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by KFC. It's finger licking good.
Skip the ordinary gifts for Dad this year. Give him the gift of future growth with a CIBC Caribbean fixed deposit account. Open a fixed deposit account and invest in a secure future for the father figure in your life. You can make deposits for birthdays, holidays, and special occasions. Fixed deposits offer returns and growth. Act now. Deposit $250,000 or more and you'll receive a hardware store gift voucher for Dad. Open your account today at CIBC Caribbean. Conditions apply.
Attention homeowners and contractors. It's World Cup season at Sherwin-Williams and the savings are on fire while your roof stays cool. From June 25 to June 30, score a winning deal with 20% off Cool Seal Elastomeric Roof Coating. Cool Seal Elastomeric Roof Coating cools and protects your roof, helping you beat the heat and defend your home like a champion. Beat the heat, protect your roof, score big savings. This is a limited time play. Head to your nearest Sherwin-Williams and score your savings before the final whistle. 20% discount is yours. June 25 to 30. Don't miss it.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady.
So my central argument this morning, my friends, is that so much of the country, the development is accelerating. So many places look so much different compared to 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 15 years ago, certainly 20 years ago. So many places look so much different, so better. Vibes Cartel, when he came out of prison, said, I saw what you look, dog. And he spent 13 years in the slum. He was amazed at how built up the place was out of his own mouth. And yet, the old capital, Spanish Town, remains a putrefied mess, an open air. Well, it's a dungeon with the lights turned on in it. Bright so you can see everything, all of the flaws, all of the crowdiness, if we were to use the vernacular to accurately describe the state of the town. And they're making the argument that many people will tell you that Spanish Town's decline is tied into the killing of arguably the kindest human being to walk foot in that space, Errol Khan, the man who ran Camden Enterprises. The court was told, as I said, June 11, 1993 at about 9:20 a.m., Errol Khan, the proprietor of Camden Enterprises Limited, Spanish Town in St. Catherine, was shot to death in an ambush set up on Old Market Street as he was en route by car to the bank to lodge proceeds of sales. At the time, the car was being driven by Dorothy Shim, who testified as to the circumstances of this quite callous and brutal murder. She was not able, however, to identify the assailants, an aspect of the evidence supplied by a young man, David Morris, aged 14 years at the time of these events. According to Mrs. Shim, as she drove along the roadway, she was compelled to slow and eventually halt when she noticed a little boy trying to get a cart out of the path of the car. It was when the car was stopped that Mr. Khan was shot by a man armed with what was described as a pump rifle. The glass on the passenger side where Mr. Khan sat was shattered by the blast, and pellets eventually removed, lodged in his chest. He received multiple wounds to the upper and mid-chest region of his body. Another man jumped onto the car as Mrs. Shim accelerated away from the scene and headed towards the hospital. This man fired several shots into the car and eventually fell off. She finally reached the hospital. So you hear that? Yeah. This is how contract killers paid to kill the epitome of kindness and humanity, the man who made Spanish Town his place of work and his home. So the reason I used that example is to show part of the problem that Spanish Town has had over time. At the bus terminus on Burke Road, right at the top there between the gas station at the intersection of Young Street, and you go down a little bit more, where the tasty, the first tasty in those parts, that foundation tasty right there, the taxi stand right there. I stood there for years, taking transport home. Right at a little stall where a woman used to sell me my race book. And because I'm underage and I'm supposed to sell a race book to a child, when I buy the Gleaner and the Observer, every Friday morning, well, I buy the papers every Friday morning, but the race book come out on Friday. I don't bother with the race book in the midweek because I can't get to focus on midweek racing because of school. But Friday now, I'm going to study Friday night and Saturday into the races. So she used to put the race book in the newspaper and just give me everything one time. So nobody wouldn't say she has sell one little boy a race book. Different story. But I'm saying right at that little spot. And I used to see the extortion being collected from the taximen every day. And wonder, say, well, and so police don't know, say, Monday so collect extortion. They don't know that the bus terminus is in the grip of an organized group who collecting more cash than the government. Sometimes they come on with a receipt book, say I collect money for the parish council. Poor him. I collect crumbs compared to what the gangsters are collecting. And that was Spanish Town for many, many years. A man in the chat says, well, it's the same thing now. I don't think it's the same way now. Clearly, definitely not the same thing now. But it's like the whole country has turned its back as local government has failed in Spanish Town. And where local government needed the support of central government for security and how to take the parish and the capital, take the parish capital out of the grips of criminals. that support didn't come for a long time. And I look squarely in the eye of the PNP this morning. Because I say to my friends in the PNP, there is no doubt that the Klansman and one other gangs established themselves, blossomed, and profiteered while the PNP had a long, uninterrupted run in government and the party did nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. And I'm saying, how is it that one of the most important places, the most historic towns in Jamaica, listen, no disrespect to some towns, but some towns, they have a historic monument, they have a little, I have to be kind, so I pardon me for not being fluent with the descriptor. They have a little thing where them say, oh, this was from 1600 and so. Spanish Town full of them something there. Spanish Town full of that. We have whole buildings, one whole square. One whole square. You want history? Come. We go walk across the Iron Bridge and we turn right. Like we go up at the YWCA and walk up the road like we go to the parish library. On the right, you go Monk Street and you go around Rivoli side. Left, the cathedral. And you go up White Church Street. So we go up in a section. Pure history. Pure history. So when you talk about historic towns, you'll be hard pressed to find anywhere in Jamaica that has it like Spanish Town has it. We have it. We have the schools, we have big schools. And we've always had big schools. My school has come into its own over the past several years. Punching with the best, Jonathan Grant High. But I'd be lying if I came here and said, boy, yeah, Diego and Catherine, yeah, run the thing for decades. And I'm just saying that Spanish Town's profile, you don't need to invent things to make Spanish Town interesting and worthy of investment and care. We have it in spades. And between local government and central government, over the decades, we've sat and allowed the cut on the foot to infect the whole foot gangrenous. And with my limited knowledge of medicine, I never see a gangrenous limb come back yet that have to chop off. And the problem is we can't afford to chop off Spanish Town. So our political leaders sat and watched gangsters run the place for decades, did nothing. And now, who will pick up the pieces? Who is going to wash up the plate them in Spanish Town's kitchen? And I'm sure many people will say, George, well, you said that about Spanish Town, what about here, what about there, what about there? So even amidst the development that we're having and the development we're seeing, there are still pockets, important spaces, which are bearing the acne, showing the acne of neglect. Spanish Town face full of bump, some big sour bump. When will somebody apply the proactive? Who will take Spanish Town out for the sweets? Who is going to give them the bitters? To purge them body, put them on a Cersei diet. Boil Cersei with Single Bible. Clean out them blood. Get them exercising, drinking water, looking better. You notice I don't mention the mayor yet. There's no need to mention the mayor. You know why there's no need to mention the mayor? In my view, the goodly mayor of Spanish Town has delivered the square root of zilch to the development of the town. Cleanliness, order. And I can't blame the mayor alone, because the municipal corporation, all of you guys who represent various divisions, what is the result of your meeting, your planning, your working? I may have friends over there who go vex, but I saw it go. Me vex too. When I look at Drax Hall, I'm Mr. Rotted. Look on Drax Hall. You think you can buy a piece of land in Drax Hall now? You think you can rent commercial space in Drax Hall? As they say in the streets, you have your dirty money. Not dirty money, but you understand. And kudos to the big companies, Grace Kennedy, CB, Carimed for sure, morning, Sir Glenn, Christian, who on the outskirts of Spanish Town are putting in the investment, big warehouses, land being cleared, housing development. When you drive on the highway, woo, you look and you say, yes, there's life in my town yet. But you go inside of the town center, wind down your window, Lord of mercy. When they sent karate kick your nostrils, walking out there, you probably need a hazmat suit. Everything in there just look like the dirt and dust just drop down upon it, and you say, hold on. So when did Spanish Town become a prehistoric place? And a back of bullshit there now. From where I'm at, it's just down there, so. West of me, and not too long. And I want to see the plan. I want local government in Spanish Town. Show us the plan. How are we going to bring the town back? The town in which they paid to kill a man who represented all of the good things about Spanish Town. It's not a stretch to say the day Errol Khan died, the day them kill Kandan, they shot Spanish Town with a bullet that has been poisoning the body ever since. Break time. More after this.
Lionel Town and Portland Cottage Bear Clarendon has all your hardware needs.
Visit our expanded showroom today and shop at leisure for your building materials, furniture, and appliances.
Take advantage of the 10% discount every Thursday on all brands cooking gas.
The Time by Mark's Superstore, helping you build dreams from the ground up, is
10:32.
Eclipse Enterprise is your go-to source for billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. Telephone 876-960-3891. The temperature by Eclipse Enterprise is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 32 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 29 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile.
brought to you by Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life.
The Netherlands, the Dutch, if you like. They have a prestigious World Cup history, defined by being runners-up a record 3 times. They reached the final in 1974, 1978, and 2010 without winning, earning them the title of the best team never to win the tournament. known for their total football in the 1970s under the great Johan Cruyff. They've appeared in 11 tournaments, including a third-place finish in 2014 and a 2022 quarter-final finish. Very, very impressive football nation and a proud nation as well. The Orange will be looking to make some noise in the 2026 edition. They've got a good squad and should make some noise, some real loud noise. And you can follow that noise and their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM, who'll have live and extended coverage of the greatest show on earth.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile.
Brought to you by Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life.
Jamaica. Our identity is more than just a name. It's who we are. The National ID card helps Jamaicans confirm who they are, access government services, and unlock new opportunities and prove your identity with confidence. Enroll today and be part of building a stronger, more connected Jamaica. Your ID, your identity. NERA, proudly serving Jamaica. One secure identity.
Hi, I'm Kalila Enriquez Reynolds, and I know a thing or two about smart money moves. Hiring a real estate professional isn't just about houses. It's about hiring someone skilled, competent, and most importantly, licensed. Check with the real estate board before entering into an agreement with a dealer, salesman, or developer. Visit the search register at reb.gov.jm or call the board today at 926-9748-9.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright.
All right. So that is that. Last thing I'll say is this, there was a time, you when you're coming on the school bus home or you went to the library on a Saturday, you met a nice girl, you talk to her and thing, and you say, boy, you meet me and we can talk, yeah? And so we're going to meet. You want to meet me at the shopping center? Spanish Town Shopping Center was, but no. Anyway, Social Development Commission, Community Churches and Cleanup Restoration Initiative grant handover ceremony for St. James that happened on Wednesday, and we were there to collect and bring for you the best bits. Here we go.
This is a delayed broadcast of the Social Development Commission's Community Churches and the Cleanup Restoration Initiative grant handover ceremony for St. James.
Well, we're here at Calvary Baptist Church in Montego Bay, St. James, for the fourth stop on the Social Development Commission's Community Church Cleanup and Restoration Initiative. Of course, it's in partnership with the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. The initiative specifically focuses on churches in those 5 western parishes hit hardest by Hurricane Melissa. We're talking about St. Elizabeth, talking about Westmoreland, we're talking about Trelawney, we're talking about St. James, and we are talking about Westmoreland. The grant pool was $75 million initially. We've subsequently learned that the Minister of Local Government and Community Development is using his charm to convince the Finance Minister to open up another line, 50 million more to give him to put into that pool, and he appears to be on the road to success. And what will the money be used to do? It will be used to cover critical remedial repairs, including the replacement of roof sheeting, guttering, doors and windows, as well as basic waterproofing and debris cleanup. So it is not for big infrastructure works because the pool of funds isn't large enough, but it's a start on the path towards beautification and restoration of the buildings damaged by Hurricane Melissa.
Honorable Desmond McKenzie, OJCD, MPJP, Minister of Local Government and Community Development. Bishop the Honorable Conrad Pitkin, CDJP, Custos Rotolorum for the parish of St. James. Member of Parliament for St. James Central, the Honorable Heroy Clark. His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Richard Vernon, Mayor of Montego Bay. All other councillors of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Mr. Omar Frith, JP, Executive Director of the Social Development Commission, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Andrea Brown Florestal, representing Senior Superintendent of Police, Aaron Samuels, Commanding Officer for St. James Jamaica Constabulary Force, Senior Superintendent and Divisional Head, Terrion Leslie, representing the St. James Jamaica Fire Brigade, Ms. Stacey Silvera, Parish Manager for the Social Development Commission, Reverend Royal Robinson, representing Montego Bay New Testament Church of God, Reverend McKenna Prendergast of the Cornwall Courts New Testament Church of God, members of staff of the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, the Social Development Commission, representatives from partnering ministries, agencies, representatives of the churches in St. James, specially invited guests, members of the media, and everyone present, good morning. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Though Hurricane Melissa ravaged our island, God's mercy kept us. Through faith, resilience, and collective effort, our communities have persevered and continue to rebuild. Thank you for joining us for the St. James Community Churches Cleanup and Restoration Initiative Grant Ceremony. I am Tova Trench Anderson, your moderator. At this time, I now invite Mr. Omar Frith, Executive Director of the Social Development Commission, to bring the welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, the protocols have already been observed, so allow me to just say a pleasant morning to everyone. But of course, allow me to recognize my own minister, the Honorable Desmond McKenzie, the members of his team, and of course the local leadership in St. James, members of parliament, mayor, and your team. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this fourth event of this kind. And the minister has been a hardworking, visionary, and focused minister to ensure that a program of this magnitude has come to light. So even before I give you my official welcome, I want to recognize him and commend him for the leadership he would have had and the confidence he has bestowed in the SDC to ensure that we can implement this program. Please give the minister a round of applause. When I read Isaiah 58 verse 12, I remind of the minister. It says that your people shall rebuild and will raise up foundations. You shall be the repairer of broken walls, the restorer of streets and dwellings. And indeed, the minister has been doing that. I want to also officially welcome all the members of the clergy, especially the 84 churches here today, and of course, the other representatives who are supporting this event. A warm welcome to the members of the community, members of the security forces, members of the other partnering agencies in St. James, and every single one of you sitting here today. I'm not going to go through the entire list. Have yourselves a very productive day, and I'm certain that you will learn a lot when the minister speaks. But I want to congratulate all of you for making yourselves available. I want to also just take a minute to say thanks to the St. James Parish team who would have ensured that the churches here today are properly verified and that the application process was seamless so that you can be here to receive your checks. Please give a round of applause to the St. James Parish, led by Ms. Silvera and supported by Mrs. Smith. As I close, just want to remind you that as you go through the process of repair and rebuild, the process of restoration is not just a physical one, it's a spiritual restoration as well, because the work ahead is tremendous. And we have to work together as a team supported by the Most High. So I leave you with 1 Peter 5 verse 10. And the God of all grace, who called you to the eternal glory of Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. Together, we continue to build. Together, we serve our communities. Enjoy the rest of the day. We look forward to seeing more of you.
Thank you, Mr. Frith. We feel welcome. To share with us on this special occasion, I now invite His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Richard Vernon, to bring greetings.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Trench Anderson. I want you to permit me to stand on the protocol that you established. Honorable Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a full church. Good morning. It is my pleasure to greet you on behalf of the St. James Municipal Corporation and to welcome the team visiting from other parts of Jamaica to the city of Montego Bay. Today is a very important day because the church plays more than a spiritual role in our lives. The church is the secondary institution of socialization where you learn certain values and norms, and indeed it is important to keep it stable. It is also the place where our local government system came from the vestry system to its transformation, parochial boards, parish council, today municipal corporation. The church is very close to us. And as best as you may, when we have our challenges, we run to the church. And it is within this context that I must commend our minister, despite all odds, stood up when persons challenged him about contributing to the recovery of church and said that they must be assisted. Give the minister a round of applause. It is critical, and we're looking forward to this contribution to the beneficiaries, and I congratulate you, all of you, who have been successful in your application. This contribution will help you in not just the restoration of the physical facility, but in the restoration of fellowship and of family community. God bless you. Have yourselves a wonderful function. Thank you.
Thank you, His Worship. Permission for other speakers to come. Permission is granted for you to stand on the established protocol or an abbreviated version thereof. We will now hear from the Honorable Heroy Clark, Member of Parliament for St. James Central and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Please make him welcome.
My awareness is heightened by the protocols that have been observed. But before I go into my presentation, let me once again welcome the youngster, Honorable Minister, to Montego Bay. This is the Republic. And I know yesterday when we spoke, I said, don't worry, I will make sure that the gatekeeper looks out for your vehicles. And so you're here in good grace. And I didn't just stop there. I made sure that the man of God, who is my very own brother, Bishop Ruel, you know that in your hands I am safe. And 3 Water Lane is where I celebrate with the Spirit. And when I speak about the Spirit, we are all Christians here. Nobody not laughing? All right, we are in the Spirit, we are in the house of the Lord, and so we give thee thanks. I stand here today with a heart that is both heavy and hopeful. Heavy because we all remember that day into that night. The devastation that came with it. I speak nothing less, nothing more about Melissa. This took place across our beloved Jamaica, and the damage left behind in her wake was not just to residential housing, but to our place of sanctuary. The very sanctuary that we spend our time celebrating and worshiping with God. And so today, we stand here because this government is a worshiping government. We believe in the Almighty. We believe in what the Almighty stands for. And so, the Prime Minister, in his wisdom, would have placed in the capable hands of our Honorable Minister a task that nobody could have said no to. And so, this morning, we are gathered here as church members, as Christian, within a country that is built on Christianity, to say to our people that we are hopeful, we believe in the faith, and for that to happen, we need to be in comfort. What is about to happen today is a gesture to say to us that though we may not be able to build back all the institutions from scratch, our heart are with you. Our contribution, though it may seem small in some instances, because I tell you, I am living in Farm Heights, Minister. There's a church right across from me. They don't even have to use a PA system for me to get the message on a Saturday morning. I just sit on my veranda and enjoy a well put together church service. But what is left of the roof is beyond me. But since Melissa, the members of that church have shown their resilience, their faith in God, that even under the boiling sun, they are inside the building, not outside. And if it rains, it's just a few pieces of tarpaulin that will take away a little of the water that comes from the Almighty. But this shows to us that in any adversity, if we have God with us, then nothing else matters. And so, this morning is not about me, but if you speak to the Honorable Minister, he will tell you that in no circumstances, none whatsoever, must you leave a mic in the hands of a politician unattended. And so I will take my cue, because I'm looking at the faces. You may not be seeing the faces, but I'm being told by just the looks and the faces that this is not a political rally. And so I need not to go too far. Minister, I will not take away from your time. I know you're very busy. Yesterday was a long day in Parliament. You have today in St. James, tomorrow in Westmoreland. So I know you're busy. So you might want to rest up. So I will now take my seat. But before, I am one of the happiest representatives, because I can now walk with my head high to say that promise is kept by this Andrew Holness-led government, that with all what was being said, and you had some persons who were saying that, no, you don't need it. But God had asked that all you do give of your service, give of your time, and give in your tithings and your offering. This today is a part of our tithing and offerings. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MP Clark, for those encouraging words and for your continued support. At this time, I must extend apologies on behalf of a state minister in the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, the Honorable Delroy Williams, who is unavoidably late due to an emergency situation earlier this morning. We pray for journeying mercies as he makes his way to us. And now, the main address. It is my pleasure to welcome the Honorable Desmond McKenzie, OJ, CD, MP, JP, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, with the main address. Put your hands together.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. I want to, first of all, acknowledge the presence of the Most High and to give God thanks for being in this lovely, lovely, beautiful church, the house of God. I think this is a fantastic building and a wonderful way in which to sing praises and to give God thanks. Is worship the mayor of Montego Bay and the deputy mayor and other councillors and members of the administration of the St. James Municipal Corporation, my colleague, Member of Parliament and Deputy Speaker of the House. And I want you here in Montego Bay and in St. James to appreciate and understand that you have a very outstanding Member of Parliament, especially as Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I see the police, the Jamaica Fire Brigade and the SDC, and the various denominations here this morning in Montego Bay. And it's a good day. I've been traveling parishes of St. Elizabeth. I was in Trelawney last Friday. I'm here in St. James today and go on to Westmoreland for tomorrow. And then we will be concluding in Hanover at a date to, I'm sorry, we did Hanover. So we are the penultimate in the series of events. So tomorrow is definitely Westmoreland. I am happy to be in St. James because the last time I visited the parish, I didn't like what I saw. The devastation of sections of the parish and the impact that it had on the lives of many people is one that none of us will ever want to forget. And I say we should never want to forget what Melissa did, because as a country, I believe we are still living in a world that we don't believe exists and can do a lot of what Melissa did to us last year. And we are in the beginning of the new hurricane season. And there are lessons which we have learned from Melissa. And there are a lot more lessons as a country for us to learn. Last week I had the pleasure of addressing an urban forum in Kingston. And a lot of the discussions at that forum speak to the change that is taking place across the world. El Nino is here with us, whether real or imaginary. While the persons who are predicting hurricanes is telling us that we will have a less active hurricane season than we did last year. You don't need a full hurricane season. All you need is one. And we saw what Melissa did. But I think as Christians and as Jamaicans, we need to recognize and to understand as a country where we sit. We have sand, we have beaches. Some of the fastest men and women in the world. This is a beautiful country. We are one of the best placed countries in this part of the hemisphere. But with that advantage that we have, brothers and sisters, it places us in a position of disadvantage. So we are prone to earthquakes, to hurricane, land slippage, all major natural disasters. Jamaica is front as one of the leading countries in the world. And I did a little investigation in order to speak at the forum. Normally when hurricanes are coming into this part of the world, it develops either in Africa or somewhere outside of the Caribbean. And we have adequate notice, time to prepare. But what the experts are telling us, that by the year 2035, because of the changes in the El Nino situation, where the waters of the Caribbean are getting warmer and warmer every day, that luxury of hurricanes and systems starting outside of our region, by 2035, we will see a change in that, where most of these systems will be developing in our own backyard. And it means the length of time that we have to prepare will be reduced significantly. I'm saying to you today that Melissa came in the day. We had adequate notice. And if anybody blames the government of Dr. Andrew Holness for not adequately informing Jamaicans, I will say to them from this pulpit in this church, that they are a set of liars and mischief makers. the notice for Melissa was long weeks. Every day we spoke to the Jamaican people about what was to come. And I must confess that the Jamaicans, majority of Jamaicans this time around, heed the warning. Still, even after Melissa, you have other Jamaicans who don't believe that Melissa came. I was in Westmoreland at the launch of and I think I'm going back to the same church tomorrow, when we had the launch of the cleanup exercise. And the pastor, when she got up to pray, she said, Mr. Desmond, I don't know you, but you come from town. You might not know. But somewhere down here, the people them say, is a man named Andrew, and you blow one little thing down here and affect the parish. You still have Jamaicans who feel that nothing never happened. But my message to you this morning is not about what your government committed itself to do for the church community. Is what our commitment must be, the kind of personal responsibility that we must take on ourselves. Because the government can only do so much. But a lot depends on the response of the Jamaican people. And why is it that the church in Jamaica is important? And the mayor alluded to it, and I want to mention it because it is important that every opportunity I get to say it, it must be said. That our first form of government is local government. We are the government that is intimately close to the people. But the Bible will tell you that local government came out of the Bible because the city that had a foundation, whose builder and maker is Christ. That is the motto of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. And it was the vestries across the country. In every parish, there was a vestry. And that was where the seat of government used to take place, in the churches. And when I hear people criticizing the government for doing what we were elected to do, to look out for every sector of the society. People ask, why you take up $70 million and give it to the church when you could give it to somebody else? When you have family crisis, who you turn to? Not the pastor in our church. When you're getting married, where you want to get married. And when you want the last rites, you know, come to the altar. So then if the church is there to do all the things that makes us happy as a people, why is it then that government can't do something one time to make the church happy? And I will never, ever apologize for the decision that was made by the government. When I spoke with the Prime Minister on this matter, he did not hesitate. And we found the money. And a lot of people will say 77 million is not a whole lot. Because the survey that was done by the SDC surveyed over 4,000 churches right across the island, especially in the most affected parishes. And there are some churches, they will not be able for now to come back up. But it has not prevented them from carrying out the work, their mission, to win souls and to continue to preach the gospel. I don't hear the talking that probably 7 out of every 10 schools in this country are church schools. It is okay for you to want to send your child to a prestigious church school. You don't have a difficulty with it. But you have a difficulty when government take upon itself. We're not granting a favor. Because outside of the church being a place of worship, the church is also plays a critical role in the country when it comes on to disaster preparedness. We use church halls, church schools as shelters. I remember when I became a counselor way back in 1977. The work of the Seventh-day Adventists, the Salvation Army. The churches were critical players in our disaster response mechanisms. And so as a government, we understand, and what we have been offering to the churches is not to rebuild churches. Because you have churches that are over 150 years old, that have stood the test of time. But what we have done is to offer churches a way to clean up, remove the debris. If you want to put on a roof and repair a window, that is what we have provided. And last week I announced that it was not only the 5 parishes here which were the ones greatly affected that we want to look at. We're going to be turning our attention to the parishes of St. Anne and Clarendon, and we are going to be providing another $50 million to assist those churches in the parishes of Clarendon and St. Anne. And so today, 84 churches in the parish of St. James that were assessed, who applied, and we never single out no particular church. And I want to make it clear. The Social Development Commission, which was tasked with the responsibility of undertaking this exercise. And you know, when agencies of government don't do well, people cuss them out. But I believe, church, this morning, the Social Development Commission needs to be congratulated for an excellent job that they have done. And there was a system that was put in place where churches apply and the criteria was set. And once that criteria was set and the applications were made and the assessment was done, then we determine what the amount we would be helping the church with to do some level of restoration. So 84 churches here in St. James We'll be spending over some $16 million in assisting the 84 churches right across the parish of St. James. It's not a lot, but what it will afford some of these churches to do is to still continue the mission. We are government. You win souls. You are the moral authority of the country. And this administration respect the views of the churches. We would never, as a government, because when I was growing, I was an altar boy in an Anglican church. I used to walk with the cross in front of the late Bishop Gibson. So I know what it is. I grew in a home where my mother was a deaconess in a church. And the kind of regards that Jamaicans have for churches, sometimes I wonder. I have never heard somebody calling on Rastafari for help, you know. I know if you have a marriage and it is going on the rocks, you say you can call Pastor there for me. Make him come talk, no? And some of the strong men who have no regards to relationship, but when the woman decides to leave them, that is the time they know where to find the churches. But I want to say to the churches, continue to be that vanguard of hope for the country. And they say we have more churches and rum bars than anything else, than any country in the world, and I prove it. When I drove in from St. James down through and over into Westmoreland, on one side of the vehicle that I counted 48 churches that was damaged by the hurricane. And the permanent secretary from Barbados, she counted probably another 50 on her side of the road that was affected. So there must be something good why there are so many churches in Jamaica. And the government of Dr. Andrew Holness is committed in preserving the dignity and the respect of the churches. I want to commend the mayor of Montego Bay. I listened to certain level of criticisms being made against the work of local government. And church, I'm in the church, so I can't lie from the pulpit. This government, since 2016, have done more than any other government since 1944 to improve the quality of life and representation for local government. We have provided more resources to local government than at any time in our history. We have built more institutions, drop-in centers, infirmaries, markets, night shelters. And I want to commend the mayor for the vision here in St. James for putting in the first automotive car park. And it's not just about the revenues that will come from it, but it is the service that it is offering to the average people here in Montego Bay, because that is what local government is all about. And for those who continue to be critical of us, take a leaf out of the page of the municipality here in St. James and the mayor. Use the assets that you have. Put it to good use. And stop calling on government to do everything for you. And if the church don't know, the local authorities have at least 25 schemes of revenues that they collect, that they have sole responsibility in how they use those funds. As the minister, I can't dictate to them how they spend the money. But every day you hear they talk about government not giving them. And I have to confess in the church, because I'm here, so let me tell the truth. A lot of what is being said is politics. Every month, our municipal corporations get from what is known as the road fund 66.33% of the road fund. That means the proceeds from your motor vehicle license and the other transactions on motor vehicle goes into a fund. And 66.33% of that every month is provided to local government. Roughly every month, the local authorities, whether they are a PNP or a GLP control local authorities, get an amount. We get around 600 or 700 million on a monthly basis from the Ministry of Finance, which is shared up not by me as the minister, but it is done on the number of roads in each parish. So when they tell you that they don't have money to fix roads, not true. When they tell you they don't have money to clean drains, it's not true. It is not just the 3 schemes of funding that we provide from central government. And one is property taxes, one is trade license, and the one I just spoke about is the road fund. Every building you see here in Montego Bay has to have the approval of the St. James Municipal Corporation. And they collect revenues. Last year alone, the local authorities in Jamaica approved over 64.5 billion Jamaican dollars of plans. That was the revenue that went in for building a loan into the local authorities. So brothers and sisters, I want to preach, but the time is short. But it is important that you here in St. James, who has an administration, a local government administration who is doing all that it can to improve it, service delivery. And while I'm standing, one of the programs under NARA for St. James will be the Charles Garden Market. We're going to be building the new fire station. And I see the one was damaged in Iron Shore. We're going to be building Coral Gardens, a brand new fire station. So brothers and sisters, this morning, I am not only here to hand out some checks, but to give you some information and also to tell you. And when I used to say the second city, I was chastised. the city of Montego Bay or the Republic of Montego Bay. And you should be all proud of not just of your elected members of parliament, but also your local government practitioners. I'm not saying that everything is well. Not saying that they can do all that they want to do. But they are in a far better position today under this administration to serve you. And I want you to put your trust and confidence in them. You have a very good mayor. One of the most outstanding mayors in the island. And he reminds me of myself when I serve as mayor of Kingston. The mayors are not there to hand out keys. They are there to work for you. And you must put pressure on the Mayor Vernon and Deputy Mayor Debo to ensure that they do what they must do. But I want to thank the church on behalf of the government of Dr. Andrew Holness, and hope that we will continue to build on the foundation that we have started. And may God continue to bless you and to ensure that you continue to serve the country in the only way you know how to do it. And I love you and thank you all.
So, the Ministry of Local Government, through the Social Development Commission, the SDC, is today handing over grants to 84 churches, 84 churches in St. James under the Community Church Cleanup and Restoration Initiative. Let's take a break and come back with more from Calvary Baptist Church here in Montego Bay, St. James.
This is an excerpt from Minister Delroy Chuck's sectorial presentation, brought to you by the Ministry of Justice.
You will see, Madam Speaker, that in the expungement of criminal records, we widened the act a couple months ago, which allow us now that if you committed a non-custodial offense before 2005, which is an expungible offense, you can get your records expunged. I have to report that tens of thousands of these have been expunged. So members applicants, these ex-offenders, no longer have to apply. If the records show that this non-custodial offense was there, then it should not be on the official criminal records. Madam Speaker, I would want to urge persons, we have now increased the number of commissioners on the expungement committee to 9. And they're meeting at least once per week, sometimes twice per week, to get rid of the backlog. I would like to urge ex-offenders that don't wait until you're traveling. Don't wait until you need you apply for a new job. If you know you've committed an offense, you can apply and hopefully get the record expunged. Especially those who had drug offenses. You will recall, colleagues, that we remove the drug offenses from the third schedule. And also, if your sentence was more than 5 years, but less than 10 years, you're now eligible for those expungible offenses. Madam Speaker, this Parliament should be proud that we are able to give people a second chance.
That was an excerpt from Minister Delroy Chuck's sectorial presentation, brought to you by the Ministry of Justice.
Campari, red passion. 3 bills that are for your drink, and 18 bills for the floss. Aye. They are the bar, just get a text. Buy for your link up, she want make a flex. Buy a Campari, you know what's next. Ashley, I call up, wifey, don't vex. Head to your nearest community bar and get your Campari for the recommended drink price of $300 for a drink and $1,800 for the flask. Campari, red passion, must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
This is a delayed broadcast of the Social Development Commission's Community Churches and the Cleanup Restoration Initiative Grant Handover Ceremony for St. James.
Coming to you from Calvary Baptist Church in Montego Bay, St. James for this grant ceremony, the Community Church Cleanup and Restoration Initiative being put on by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development in collaboration with the Social Development Commission, which is executing the works right here. The initiative, of course, if you came in late, is focusing on churches in those 5 parishes hit hardest by Hurricane Melissa. Those parishes, I thought it's saying them being, but some will say, oh, George, that's not standard English. It is very much standard English, but you're not used to it being expressed like that. So there you go. St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, and Westmoreland. Recall that at the outset, the pool of funds to do this grant offering initiative, $75 million in that pool. But you heard the local government minister say in Alps, in Trelawney, in South Trelawney, the political constituency to be precise, that he would supplement that pool of funds. He's going 60 up, he's going up 60, going around about that 50. Omar Fett is telling me 50, about 50 more he's putting into the pool. So he's widening the pool because the demand is so great, the need is so plentiful, and they're trying their best to meet the needs of the church groups that are coming forward. So I have the man in charge of the Social Development Commission with me, Omar, as he has been on the previous stops on this tour. And Omar, we're here at Calvary Baptist in Montego Bay, another area where the need is great.
Indeed. Good morning again, George, and good morning to your listeners. We would have seen...
And viewers.
And viewers.
There you go.
Indeed. So St. James would rank third in terms of the parish that had the highest number of churches being impacted, and those applications would have been reflected in St. James with the third highest number. So we're very pleased that we're able to be here and provide the support that they would have requested.
Right. One of the things that we, because of the time and of course because of so much to talk about where this initiative is concerned, I personally said, I think we need to go deeper into the monitoring mechanism, because I know that, listen, it's not the biggest sum of money that each church group will get to start with, but at the same time you want to ensure that it is used for the intended purpose. So talk me through the details of what the SDC has in place to monitor how the funds are spent.
Excellent. So we would have ensured that even before a church receives their application, receive their grant, we have a system in place to verify that persons who are in receipt are deserving of receiving. And they're legitimate churches that meet the basic criteria to be so awarded. We utilize 2 systems, both our officers physically. We have officers spread across the commission. So we have our community officers that literally visit the locations, interview the respective representatives, and compile a database on each of the churches that would have applied. We also use COBA Toolbox, an online form that allows us to track those applications virtually. Once the individuals are identified, we receive invoices from certified, recognized hardwares. There are churches who might have already started the repairs, and so they present their account information to which we can transfer these funds. That's the basic. But here's the most important monitoring component now, George. We are not just expecting to have a post-project implementation report.
Yes.
We're ensuring that our officers visit back the locations to ensure that the repairs that were said to be undertaken were done. We're doing that both, again, using our officers physically attending and also the technology within the space of our geographic information system. So we have a system in place to ensure that the repairs that were said to be required were carried out. What is also crucial, as I mentioned initially, churches have to be registered and verified as legitimate organizations. Invoices have to be presented and verified. And so it is not a case
where we are giving $1 million to Pastor Jones, and he does what he pleases.
Yes.
We know that Pastor Jones would have visited a hardware or a few who would have made recommendations as to what the various repairs could look like and submit an invoice for that. So yeah, there's a system in place that we are proud of, and we have no doubt that it can stand up to scrutiny.
We know that everybody is entitled to their political opinion, their political view, and that's accepted. And then you have some people, as I make that point, who say, perhaps it is that the SDC's system curry favors with people who support the administration. I know that what you lead is a non-partisan organization.
Absolutely.
Can you give the assurance that in the assessment of those who are eligible to receive assistance under this leg of this initiative, that no political considerations whatsoever bled into that process?
I can give you that assurance without a shadow of a doubt. But here's what makes that assurance even more solid.
Yes.
In the case of St. James, for example, once the application form was available online, once people who were unable to fill the forms out online submitted a physical form, I can tell you it was 100% of the applicants in St. James that were verified and have been approved. So it wasn't even a case where we had 700 applications and we are sitting down trying to figure out who out of the 700 will be selected.
Yes.
And so we were able to provide an application period and made that available through the public channels, both websites, the public media, and advertise. And people have gone to the websites voluntarily, completed the forms. So these were not completed by myself nor the minister himself. The minister did not call me and say, here are 10 people from my constituency. I did not call a member of parliament and say, give me John Bro. No, I have to be very clear on that. People went direct to the website. Now, there are challenges. There are a number of persons who did call. Pastors would call and say, I visited the website. There are technical issues. Is the website down? And when we found that there were genuine cases where persons attempted to complete the form and had technical issues, we extended the deadline. So we gave another 2 weeks for persons to go back to the website and complete the form. So for me, the fact that we had a very transparent application process, and in most cases, we would have had 190% verification, and the persons who have been visited and verified are in receipt of a grant. So that's the reality. Now, the fact that many persons would have missed the deadline, and there are others who, despite the fact that it was in the public domain, may not have been aware of how to go about making the application. We are fully aware and cognizant of the fact that there are some persons who would have liked to have applied but did not get the opportunity to do so, which is why the minister, in his wisdom, recognized the need to perhaps give another allocation to provide another opportunity for persons to so apply. But again, we are very confident that we were very transparent and fair in ensuring that everybody who applied had an opportunity to benefit, and that's where we start.
I'm certain that the SDC in this, let me hold that question until after this.
We do not know the political affiliation
and you
of the applicants,
and you're not interested in knowing.
It was never part of the assessment.
Yes. So far, you've been in St. Elizabeth. I was with you in Hanover. I was with you at Alps in South Trelawney. And now I'm here in Montego Bay, St. James. So four stops so far. So here's the thing. Based on the 3 previous stops, has the assessment that you speak of, has that started across those 3 locations? Is your team in those areas to ensure that, what was said to be spent on and the alignment with the work done already before the grant was received and the paperwork supporting the work program to clean up, that everything is in order? Is that assessment ongoing at those other locations?
I wouldn't say for Trelawney, which just happened.
Last week,
But for the first 2, those have started on a small scale. As you can imagine, the same team that we have doing those assessments, the same team that we have doing right now, several other kind of verifications. So that is a crucial part that will continue after the 5 parishes are completed, and we can share with the public what the outcome of that assessment will look like.
Yes. I know that based on the work of the SDC, Omar, that you know data is always is critical to what you do. Data which you turn into information. And I'm certain that this process of inviting applications from the various churches and having your team interact with the church leaders on the ground would have given an opportunity for you to collect other data to inform other things that the SDC will want to do with these very important groups? And if that is so, what other data are you looking, or have you been looking to collect over time from these church leaders and church groups?
As you can imagine, the churches have always been significant community development partners with SDC, and as we collect data, we want to ensure that we're also improving our ability to see the churches beyond use of shelters,
right,
and some of the previous programs. We have new technologies that are available. We have new emerging challenges. So we are looking at some of the programs that the churches themselves offer. We're looking at the profile of a number of activities that various churches themselves have undertaken, and see how we can enhance our own community development initiatives in partnerships with the churches. I must also confess that chief on the agenda, the minister would have made reference to it already, and I won't go into too much detail, but he did indicate that he wants to partner with churches further regarding their use of shelters. And so we're also looking at suitability of various locations. What facilities do they have in place, and what can be recommended to be added to the list of national shelters. But that's also a further discussion that can be had later on. But those are some of the things that we're looking for, to see how we can partner with churches for continued effective community engagement and community development activities, as well as data on identifying suitable locations that can be identified and recognized as shelters.
Last question for you. I was saving this one until the end of this year, so I can ask it now, given that you're at the penultimate stop.
Sure.
Insofar as the discharge of your duties are concerned, in support of the SDC's mandate, do you think that this initiative is already making a difference?
Absolutely. It would be remiss, and I did say previously, we are happy that the government saw it fit to provide support to churches. And so many churches have been calling and writing to us, indicating how helpful and useful the initiative was. Many have been operating under their tarpaulins that have started some minor repairs, but this help have caused them to expedite the repairs, and they have gone back to their normal services. So we have seen the impact. Not only are we seeing the impact by virtue of the repairs and cleanup that would have been done, but we have built new relationships. There are churches that might have existed that we knew of. But now there are churches that are integrated in our database as new partners that the SDC will be integrating their work with over the coming months.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll be talking at the final stop on this tour. All the best to you.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure serving the SDC. As you know, I've been in local development for over 25 years. This has been my lifelong career. And I am humbled to be of service to the people of Jamaica, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of your background. We're here to serve you, and we have a track record of being neutral and professional in how we discharge our duties.
Excellent, sir. Thank you very much. It was important to say that. Omar Frith, he is the Executive Director of the Social Development Commission. We are in the company of the Member of Parliament for Central St. James, Heroy Clark, who's also the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Good morning, MP.
Thank you very much.
You're checking out this morning, man.
It's still morning. Thank you very much. I mean, I'm overly enjoying this program today. And so, you might just miss the time.
You might just miss the time.
You might just miss the time.
There you go. Well, guess what now? We know that Hurricane Melissa ravaged everything in her path in this part of the island. But as the man who's in charge of the constituency, just give me an idea of what Melissa would have done to churches specifically, not just in your constituency, but throughout St. James.
Well, I should let you know that Melissa did not spare anyone, to include the church. And I would say to you, as you would have heard the minister speaking this morning at this ceremony, the number of churches driving all the way from Montego Bay into Westmoreland, the number of churches that he would have counted along the main road going into Westmoreland, some 48 or more churches that he would have seen that has been devastated. I have been throughout the length and breadth of the western section of the island, and that is because of the position that I would have held as a member of the area council. And so when you go into the interior of the different parishes and communities, then you will see the devastation. I have seen churches that has been there since I was a boy, or even before my time. The only thing that is left is like one corner of the building, everything has been devastated. Everything has been flattened. I bring you home to even my community of Farmites.
Yes.
We have two churches that total destruction, the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Baptist Church. Both are all gone. But I say to you that even with all of that has happened, the members of these institutions has shown the resilience that Jamaicans are noted for. They meet every Saturday, every Sunday, whether or not it is raining or sun is shining. And that speaks to the level of resilience that we have within ourselves.
Yeah, you know, you would have seen the devastation firsthand, given your duty to have examined the environments in the immediate aftermath of Melissa. So it would have come as no surprise to you that the government was committing funds to helping churches clean up on the path to restoration. But at the same time, MP, there were several people across the island who were up in arms that the government was creating this pool of funds to help churches to clean up. And I just want to get your reaction when you heard the hue and cry about the government committing taxpayers' funds to helping churches clean up on the path to restoration after Melissa.
It is sad that the church that we seek comfort in at all times when we are at our lowest point, we have persons saying that they should not get help at their lowest point.
Yes.
And so it is just human nature. Some will be for you, some will be against you. But I did, and I still consider that what the Prime Minister did in his vision is still a very, very good thing to have done, because whether we like it or not, the churches are a part of our foundation. They are a part of our fiber. And so if we are going to be comfortable, how is it that we are going to be comfortable in home, but when we go into the place of worship, we are not comfortable? And so those who are weak, those who are strong, must lend a hand to those who are weak. And in this time, Hurricane Melissa did not spare any of us. And therefore, the matter of churches being supported by the government is something that I welcome, something that I will vote for every day.
You know, with 84 churches in St. James alone benefiting today, the handover just completed, and scores more in other parishes, the 3 other parishes that they stopped in before coming to St. James today. It's always a case, MP, of water being more than flour, that most Jamaican of sayings. And we know that the resources aren't enough to do everything that is needed to be done on the ground at each individual church. But it's a powerful gesture, and it's a start. Cleanup is a start, you'd agree?
It is a start. It is a powerful gesture, as I suggest, because what it is saying to us, that I may not be able to put you back into the position that you were before or better off. But what I can do is to say to you that my heart goes out to you. I am hopeful that you will get better. But here is my little piece. Here is my portion that I will offer you. Because not every time that I will be able to give you all that you ask for. And so we must understand that, take it as it is.
Yes.
The church has been with us. The church have provided their halls when called upon on many occasions. Even in the case of Hurricane Melissa, many of these churches were shelters.
Yes.
So just imagine if a hurricane should come today, we will be short of some shelter for the same very people who we seek to serve.
Yes, and I'm certain that as a member of parliament, you mentioned your home community of Farm Heights. I'm sure churches in there, even before this initiative was announced, would have come to you and say, boy, MP, we need a 2 sheet of zinc, we need a piece of ply elsewhere in the constituency. They would have come to you for that. And again, the money is not big, but this initiative would have at least eased the pressure of people like you as representatives of the people.
It does. And that is one of the reasons, or the main reasons, that I welcome this initiative.
Yes.
Because I can say that I have contributed through the government. You understand me? And we also must understand that these very same churches are the same very churches who does on every day their care packages. They give back to the community when they are in the position to give.
Yes.
And so the time has come, God forbid, that Hurricane Melissa would have done all that it has done, that they are now in need. So it is time us as the recipient from them before is giving back to them to say, okay, continue your good gesture.
And of course, your reaction to news. The minister announced this when we were with him at Alps in South Trelawney last week. Your colleague Marissa Darren-Philibert was out there with him to say that, listen, given the scale of the need, he was going to get $50 million more from the finance minister. I don't know if he get it out. He intended to ask her to supplement the pool of funds that's available to give more churches an opportunity to get the cleanup start that they need.
George, if he gets that $50 million, I welcome that $50 million, and I would ask that he seek to get another 50 somewhere, because guess what?
Yes.
Truth be told, what you are giving to the churches, no, yes, it is something to say that this is your support.
Yes.
But in truth and in fact, they need a lot more than what they have.
Yes.
And we are saying to Jamaica, we are saying to the wider communities, we are saying to the international community, because many of these churches have their sister and brother churches outside of Jamaica. You need to come on board and assist them to get back to where they were, to be a part of the fiber of the community that they have been serving for more than some 100 years, some 50 years.
Yes. And lastly, so the cleanup is one part of the work, MP. The physical infrastructure is going to take a lot more. We were speaking to the man leading the church in Handover when we were there, and he said, listen, the roof alone is going to cost $8.4 million. I didn't see the 0.48, much less the $8 million. So I ask, what do your churches in your constituency take from you insofar as extending assistance to help them to marshal the funds needed to do the infrastructure repairs that are so badly needed?
Each one, help one.
Yeah.
It means that there's something in Jamaica, and Jamaica has been the one that has brought it to the forefront, where we call round robin. We need to do some round robin church service. We need to do some round robin rallies. We need to do some round robin harvesting. And each one help one.
Cooperation, collaboration.
Exactly, exactly.
Hear you on that. Heroy Clark, thank you for your time, man.
Thank you very much, George.
Excellent. He's a member of Parliament for Central St. James. He's also Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Right, so we are here at Calvary Baptist Church in Montego Bay, St. James. The minister caught himself when he was at the pulpit because he was preaching, gave a sermon when he said, listen, this is no second city, this is the tourism Mecca. And he was correct, because that's what Montego Bay is and will always be. We're here for the Community Church Cleanup and Restoration Initiative. It's the 4th grand handing over ceremony. 84 churches benefited today, and $16 million was handed over earlier today. And to date, the donations or the grants, the grants, 54 million in total. And you did hear the minister say that he has looked to expand the pool of funds by some conversations he had with the finance minister. He's here with me, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development. Based on the feedback so far, welcome first of all, Minister. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, George. It's becoming an habit now.
Yeah, when you're here, you're like co-host, because I hear that you're a big radio man on Nationwide. So, not interviewing as a guest.
You don't know about the fact that I'm a big radio man on Nationwide? You know about this?
I first me hear.
That's very unfortunate.
Here we go. So, what have you heard about the initiative and how it has been received by those church leaders who've already received, even before you came here today? What is the feedback you're getting from those who've received already?
Well, I can tell you, George, outside of the 5 parishes, even in the corporate area, the response has been overwhelming, and people have been talking about it. A couple of approaches have been made by some churches in the corporate area, and we're going to be looking at that. But as far as after the first round of criticisms, I believe that Jamaicans have accepted, because the church community, George. And George, when I spoke about the importance of the church and the church schools, George, without a lot of the church schools, we'd be in problems.
Yes.
Because government could not afford to build and to run all
especially at early childhood.
Precisely. Yes. Precisely. So the importance of what we're doing cannot be overstated. And I, felt a sense of pride and honor and privilege, at this morning's ceremony, which so far is the largest.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a huge church.
Yes.
And half of the church, the benches were taken.
Yes.
And the response, even when they came up to collect the check, how grateful they are.
Yes.
Regardless of the circumstances. And I think this is an initiative that the government will continue if and when that time comes again. I did speak about the concerns we have in the El Nino and the changing pattern and the heat and what is to come. And I think this is a good place to talk, to bring that message. Because as I said when I was speaking, that based on the assessment that has been done, most of the systems start either in Africa or on the other coast outside of the Caribbean and thing. And it is anticipated that by around 2035, a lot of that is going to change, where the systems are going to be falling much closer to us. And remember now our waters have become extremely warm.
Yes.
And these are areas of concern. We see the drought problems that we're experiencing. In St. Elizabeth, and I was watching with concern, I think was in France or one of those countries.
In France.
Where 18 persons died because of heat wave. So I believe not only just handing out the checks, George, I think this message around what is to be expected in this hurricane season is of importance. And, El Nino might be good in some ways because they are saying it will, negate some of the real hurricane, but you don't need much hurricane. And the El Nino system itself is also of concern.
Very unpredictable. On the point of hurricane readiness, I was saying to the executive director of the SDC earlier, Omar Frith, that clearly the SDC would have used this exercise of assessing and post-assessment after giving the grants and even gathering the data to approve the grants. It would have used the opportunity to get some information about the state of readiness of some of the churches which double as shelters during hurricane season. Based on what those church/shelters that you depended on for, Melissa, are they back at a level where they can help us out if the worst happens this season?
Right, and we have also gone much further by identifying a church in Santa Cruz to be used as a escape route if a system comes and the Santa Cruz and infirmary is affected. So we have been working. I had a virtual meeting yesterday with all the disaster coordinators to look and to get their concerns and to where they are. And based on the reports that was presented at the meeting yesterday, in terms of readiness and shelters, and especially churches, because I did ask about the use of churches, and they have indicated that those shelters are still, the ones that we use, those shelters are still up, and those shelters will be used based on the assessment that was done.
Yes, all right. So this initiative, now, Minister, you go to Westmoreland for the last leg of this segment.
Right, I go to Westmoreland tomorrow in Darlington, I think we are.
In Eastern Westmoreland.
Right, because they are probably the ones with a lot more. I believe Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth has the same amount in terms of churches that was assessed in the program. So they're almost on the same wavelength. So when we go to Westmoreland tomorrow, we'll deal with that, and I am hoping tomorrow I can speak on the launch of the Youth Summer Employment Program, where we have set aside some 200 YSEP workers through the SDC that will be assigned to the municipal corporations to work directly with the disaster coordinators in their mitigation exercise in all the areas of responsibilities that the disaster coordinators have. And those 200 persons are not going to be employed for a month. They will be employed for the full hurricane season. So they will start in July and they will go right up until December, when the hurricane season ends. Because it is important that the lessons that we've learned from Melissa, a lot of the disaster coordinators, they did well, but they weren't able to fully expand because they didn't have the resources in terms of personnel. So we are going to be providing that for them. And based on the meeting yesterday, a number of the suggestions that they made, the areas that they want assistance, are actually in the document that we have prepared to as the guideline in how we're going to engage those 200 YSEP workers, which is separate and apart from the YSEP workers, which be assigned to each councillor and mayors to carry out other works during the summer, and that is only for 4 weeks, the summer program. But the disaster aspect of it will go beyond. Right, because the Prime Minister at the launch of the hurricane season gave a charge to us in terms of drills and all that sort of thing that needs to be conducted, earthquake drills, hurricane drills. So this will strengthen, and working closely with the ATPEM, it will strengthen and give us a wider scope, on the ground. When I heard some of them talking about going into communities and updating the assessments that we started about 3 years ago, on vulnerable communities where you have vulnerable residents who live, persons who are physically challenged without difficulty. So we are compiling all of that, and that is going to help us in this hurricane season to be a lot more responsive in some of the areas that we fell short.
As you speak, I'm saying to myself, now I see the practical sense, well, not now, but the practical sense becomes apparent of when you took charge of the ministry. You said, let's make a change. Not local government and rural development, but local government and community development, because communities right across the country need development. And this that you're doing, this initiative, it is developing communities.
Right, and the SDC's role is critical because in all of the aspects, interacting with the community meetings, the sensitizations, all of that will come through the SDC working with the disaster coordinator. So when you normally have the coordinators planning the town hall meetings and doing all the things, we're going to be freeing them up. So the whole question of disaster, now looking at what are their needs in terms of how they're going to operate the shelters. And we are also have been reducing the number of shelters based on the SDC's assessment. So while we're looking at all of that, and we're going to be rolling out the 3 all-purpose shelters under NARA, which the cabinet has given approval for. But right now we're getting ready for the hurricane season, and I am hoping, George, that we'll be spared the wrath of it, and the fact that, as I said, El Nino is really posing. I tell you, it is extremely hot. And then we have the drought situation, because in my own constituency, there won't be any water in the pipes until about weekend.
Saturday they say at about the 27th, about 5 p.m. thereabouts, maybe.
And even before that, we did have challenges in the area. When I tell people how much money I spend to chuck water
into West Kingston,
into South St. Andrew, into Angela Brownsburg's constituency also, people are amazed. The fact is that it is an old system. And the system, the repairs that is being undertaken, to correct that will bring some relief to the various communities. But George, I am pretty concerned. The heat is not something that one should, and I want to say this, as I said to the church, they have to become responsible in helping not just to win souls, but to talk about how you win souls, because you can't win the souls when they're not here to be won.
That's right.
So prevention is better than cure, and I don't want anybody to feel that we're sending out any hoax messages about. Just look at what is happening across the world. I mean, one of the things that have disappointed me is the hydration break in the World Cup, because I think that has destroyed the flow of the game. But it became necessary. And look how long it took for a second half of our World Cup to start. Because of lightning and
2 hours 15 minutes.
Precisely. So it is something that we here in Jamaica has to be mindful of. And then, those who are sending the negative messages about, we are alarmists. And I want to be an alarmist.
Yes.
Because if we weren't an alarmist in Melissa, we wouldn't be here now.
That's right.
I can tell you that.
That's right. Last thing to ask you before you leave, Minister.
Yes.
As a senior man in the government and in the Labour Party, and one of our senior politicians, if the world ended now, you would go down as one of the most senior operatives that are the most in the history of local government and in the politics in our country. I have to ask you, how do you view this situation concerning your cabinet colleague, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, and the position he finds himself in with the Integrity Commission?
I don't want to say much on it, but it is untenable. It does not reflect what the intent of the Integrity Commission was established to do. And, there are issues that we're looking at. So in terms of being a cabinet minister, I would only say it is unfortunate. But I think Dr. Wheatley is doing a good job. And, I don't want judgment to be passed. But it is something that is of concern to all of us, and those who are on the other side who's pretending that they are not concerned. The same knife that stick the sheep is the same knife that can stick the goat.
Yes.
It's a beautiful institution, but I don't believe how it is being. Is not the way to go.
And lastly, you leave the determination of Dr. Wheatley's fate to the chairman of cabinet, who you are confident in his ability to make that decision.
Yeah, and that is the only person that can make that decision. And his judgment have been sound. And I don't think there has been any prime minister in this country who has taken some of the steps, the decisions that Dr. Andrew Wheatley has taken in the interests of the country, not a personal interest.
Yes.
And that is commendable.
Hear you on that. Thank you for your time.
And thanks, George, and thanks for having me on the program, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Excellent. Desmond McKenzie, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development. Well, that's a wrap on the community cleanup, community church cleanup and restoration initiative grant handover ceremony number 4 in this series. 84 churches received grants, and to assist them, the grants are to assist them with restoration efforts after the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa, which of course hit Jamaica on October 28, 2025. This broadcast is brought to you by the kind support of the good folks at the Social Development Commission, hardworking team led by Omar Frith of the STC. Also, thanks, I want to say, to our business development executive, Stephen Harker. Thanks to our producer, Nora Gay Banton. Thanks to our technical man on spot, Jermaine Compass, our broadcast engineer. The technical man in studio was, one of many. We have many men in studio who are working on the broadcast. Thanks to Michelle McCrae Smith, our producer on the inside, Kimari Rowe, our driver, and our videographer, Mr. Nigel Fantastic Austin. All right, that's it. Good afternoon.
That was a delayed broadcast of the Social Development Commission's Community Churches and Cleanup Restoration Initiative grant handover ceremony for St. James.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 minutes after 12.
It's credible and factual. The World at Noon on Nationwide 90 FM.
Good afternoon, I'm Dana Davey. Coming up in the World at Noon for Friday, June 26, 2026. PSOJ calls for Dr. Andrew Wheatley's head amid illicit enrichment allegations. FID secures forfeiture of $2 million in local and foreign currencies. Statin says manufacturing and mining costs went up in May. 43,000 tickets have been registered for Kingston and St. Andrew Traffic Ticket Public Day. In regional news, Didacus Jules reappointed OECS head. In international news, Venezuela earthquake death toll surges past 500 on Friday. In sports, FIFA World Cup ball Trianda creating havoc for goalkeepers at the ongoing tournament. The details after the break.
The Midday News is brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, is calling on Dr. Andrew Wheatley to step aside from ministerial duties until the matter with the Integrity Commission is resolved. The Commission has recommended that the minister be charged with 4 offences in relation to his statutory declarations between 2013 and 2022. Among the offences are illicit enrichment and making false statutory declarations. The Commission says it found that some $164 million of Dr. Wheatley's assets could not be reconciled with his lawful earnings. Dr. Wheatley has rejected the Commission's findings. In a statement late on Thursday, the PSOJ says stepping aside is necessary to protect public service oversight. The organization says this would preserve public confidence, protect the integrity of the office, and reinforce the strength of Jamaica's governance framework. Making its argument, the PSOJ highlighted the progress the country has made in strengthening its governance architecture over the years. The organization says it's important for this progress to be advanced. The PSOJ call comes on the heels of a similar call by the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association and the Jamaica Umbrella Group of Churches. Meanwhile, President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, JCC, Emil Leiba, says a quick resolution to the matter is necessary to protect public service oversight. The Chamber has called for the establishment of a dedicated anti-corruption unit. Leiba was speaking on Nationwide this morning on Friday.
It is a matter for the Prime Minister to determine as to what is the most efficient way to structure it, because I presume Minister Wheatley is doing work. The Prime Minister has indicated that he is doing work, and certainly we wouldn't want that aspect of things to be impaired in terms of the country's progression and development. Now, while balancing, of course, again, the question of the public perception, and this is where it ties back into efficiency. If we could get things done expeditiously, then perhaps if the minister were to be asked to step aside, it would be a relatively brief period and there would be a limited impact on the greater public services that he is providing to the government of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica if he could have a speedy resolution and then a return to normalcy.
The Chamber says that as of 2024, 29 countries had courts dealing solely with anti-corruption cases. It's suggesting Jamaica should become the 30th. Leiba says the existing system is prone to delays.
I've seen the benefits of the commercial division of the Supreme Court, where there are cases that are set aside, basically, and they are given more dedicated resources. And I've seen the positive impact that has had of matters being set for trial, hearing dates, and those things coming up more quickly. Because what can happen in the regular criminal division is that a matter is postponed due to one side not being ready, and then it's 6 months, 9 months, 8 months before it comes back before the court. So it then goes very slowly. If you have a judge who says, listen, this matter, I'm carrying it through. So once the charges are laid, they set orders, they set timelines, and they said, okay, this is how it is to be done, then you have that resolution.
Emil Leiba, President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. And President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, Catherine Silvera, argues that lengthy delays weaken public trust.
When it is that these incidents take so long to be resolved or never resolved, then what happens is that investor confidence could lower, can spur a lack of business growth, job creation, and this all depends on the transparency, fairness, and trust in public administration. And when you have cases like this that takes a long time or get brushed aside, I think it helps to weaken public trust.
Silvera says the Integrity Commission needs to be strengthened.
I believe that, as a country, Jamaica has invested significant effort in building institutions such as the Integrity Commission, but I think there is still room to strengthen these institutions because they are really who promote transparency and strengthen accountability to uphold the rule of law. So they play a critical role in protecting public interest and maintaining confidence in our democracy. So I would support the strengthening of these institutions.
Catherine Silvera, president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. In other news, the Financial Investigations Division, FID, has secured the forfeiture of $2 million in Jamaican, U.S., and Canadian currency in 2 court matters. This was done under the Proceeds of Crime Act. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
The first case saw the St. Anne's Bay Parish Court order the forfeiture of cash in the matter of the FID in its capacity as Jamaica's Asset Recovery Agency versus Demoy and Joshua Campbell. The matter arose from a July 2024 operation in the parish during which officers discovered $635,000 in a bag in Joshua's possession. The men offered conflicting explanations about the source of the funds. Inquiries led officers to a residence in Discovery Bay, St. Anne, where additional cash in Jamaican, Canadian, and United States currency was found. The forfeited sums include over 1.2 million Jamaican dollars and 1,800 Canadian dollars in relation to Demoy. Investigators applied for forfeiture after the men were unable to provide satisfactory proof of the lawful source of the funds. The second matter saw the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court Civil Division order the forfeiture of $251,500 in the matter of the agency versus Peter Manning Jr. Reports say during an intelligence-driven stop of a motor vehicle by members of the Firearms and Narcotics Division in April 2024, cash was found in a bag. Manning was unable to account for the funds at the time, before later admitting that the money was intended for the purchase of marijuana. The FID says a search of his residence led to the discovery of marijuana hidden in sections of the house. The cash was seized and Manning later consented to its treatment as proceeds of criminal activity. Principal Director of the Financial Crimes Investigations at the FID, Keith Darian, says the rulings underscore the value of sustained investigative work and Jamaica's asset recovery framework. The FID reminds the public that forfeiture is a court-supervised process. Seized property is not automatically forfeited. A forfeiture order is only made where the court is satisfied on the applicable legal standard and the evidence presented that the property is connected to or intended for use in unlawful conduct. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
The Court Administration Division has revealed that more than 43,000 traffic tickets have been registered for its upcoming Traffic Ticket Public Day in the corporate area. The event is set for Wednesday, July 8 and Thursday, July 9 at the National Arena. Motorists with tickets issued between February 1, 2018 and 2026 who registered for the initiative before May 31 this year will have the opportunity to have their matters addressed before warrants are executed. Proceedings will begin at 9 a.m. on both days and are expected to end at 5 in the afternoon. Participants should also take their driver's licenses for identification purposes. The Kingston and St. Andrew Traffic Ticket Public Day coincides with a warning from Transport Minister Darrell Vaz that motorists with outstanding tickets must clear their records by September 30. This as the demerit points system is set to take effect on October 1.
The demerit point system under the Road Traffic Act 2018 and Road Traffic Regulations 2022 will take effect on September 30th, 2026. This marks a major milestone in the modernization of the road traffic enforcement and the promotion of responsible road use across Jamaica. Motorists who settle their outstanding traffic tickets and become compliant on or before September 30th, 2026 will not be adversely affected by the commencement of the system. This period provides an opportunity to regularize records, settle outstanding tickets, and ensure compliance with the law.
Darrell Vaz, Transport Minister. The cost of producing goods in two of Jamaica's biggest industries went up again in May, and the numbers help explain why some prices keep climbing. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, on Thursday, released its Producer Price Index for May. The index tracks what it costs local producers like factories and mining companies to make their goods before those goods reach the shop shelf. When that cost rises, it often shows up later in the prices consumers pay. Statin says the cost of production in the manufacturing industry rose by 2.7% in May. That was driven mainly by higher costs in food, beverages, and tobacco, and a sharp rise in the cost of refined petroleum products. The mining and quarrying industry saw a smaller increase. It's up 0.4%, lifted mostly by the bauxite and alumina sector. But the bigger picture emerges when you look at the full year. Over the 12 months to May, production costs in mining and quarrying jumped 28%, driven almost entirely by bauxite and alumina. In regional news, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, authority has reappointed Dr. Didacus Jules for a fourth term as Director General. The decision was taken during the authority's 78th meeting earlier this week. Jules has served in the position since 2014. He is credited with overseeing initiatives focused on food sovereignty, digital transformation, public health, and education reform. The authority says Jules also strengthened the organization's capacity to respond to emerging regional and global challenges. In a statement, then OECS Chairman and Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Godwin Friday, said the decision reflects strong confidence in Jules' leadership. He said it's a nod to Jules' continued role in advancing regional integration. And in international news, the death toll from Wednesday evening's double earthquakes in Venezuela has climbed to 589, with thousands injured. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez announced the new toll early on Friday. She gave the updated figures, flanked by government and military officials, as she welcomed the arrival of rescue crews from all over the world. The quakes, one 7.2 magnitude, followed by a magnitude 7.5 a mere 39 seconds later, are known as a doublet. The U.S. Geological Survey explained that doublet earthquakes happen when a pair of similar-sized quakes hit in close location and time. The deadly 1-2 punch toppled buildings in Venezuela's capital, Caracas, and beyond. The coastal region of La Guaira, which is north of Caracas, experienced some of the heaviest damage and casualties. Venezuelan state TV on Friday showed neighbors helping each other dig through rubble to search for loved ones. Those were the stories making local, regional, and international news at this hour. Sports is up next.
The Midday News was brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Hey, turn up to 25. Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation, all inclusive flex? Yeah. I touch a million cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Why choose the National ID? It's more than just a card. It's your gateway to faster, more efficient services across Jamaica. Open bank accounts, register for school, apply for jobs, and conduct business, all with one trusted ID. No need for multiple documents. And it's free for all Jamaicans. The National ID creates more access, more opportunities, and more benefits for you and your family. Enroll now and be part of the change. Organize your life with the National ID. NERA. Empowering you, empowering Jamaica. One secure identity.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, up-to-the-minute local and international sports news. This is the Nationwide Sports at Noon.
Good afternoon, welcome to your Lunchtime Sports Report. I'm Maureen Buchanan. We start things off with some cricket news at Sports Time. West Indies are currently 109 for 3, trailing by a further 199 runs in the first test against Sri Lanka at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua. Amir Jangu and Joshua De Silva are the not-out batsmen on 3 and 0 respectively. Sri Lanka in their first innings were dismissed for 308. Justin Greaves was the pick of the bowlers, taking 3 for 39 for West Indies. Sri Lanka captain Dhananjaya De Silva led the batting, scoring 120. Sticking with cricket news, as former Sri Lanka captain Kumar Sangakkara explained that England are not addressing their problems correctly. Ben Stokes returned for the third test against New Zealand following his suspension from the second test due to his involvement in a nightclub brawl just outside London. For Sangakkara, this is just the latest issue with this England team.
To me, two really important factors here. One is, are they really doubling down on their vision for how they want to play? There was a wobble in the Ashes. They said they are. But with the team changes that I've seen and perhaps kind of trying to graduate into smart cricket, I don't think they're doubling down exactly as they want. They want to evolve and perhaps become better than they have been. The second part to me is alignment. And the three key factors for me is the director of cricket, Rob Key, the coach, and the captain.
Sangakkara added that the off-field issues could be a distraction in the team and ultimately affect the performance on the field.
Now, we had a Brook issue in New Zealand that did not go addressed. That came back to haunt them. Then you have this. And then what I kind of read in the press and some of the statements is, well, was curfew clear? Is curfew needed? All of that to me doesn't really matter because that just goes back to show that there is misalignment between the three key kind of individuals in this England environment. And you can talk about running towards danger, culture we built on trust and fearless courage, but you really have to define it. What is your culture? What are your values? And what are the standards of behavior that go with it? And what are the consequences if you don't live up?
Former Sri Lanka captain Kumar Sangakkara. Sticking with cricket news, as Ireland caused a massive shock as they claim a first senior international win over world champions India in Friday's opening T20 International in Belfast. With key bowlers missing through injuries, debutants Jai Mundra and Matthew Hollard stars as the hosts claimed a 34-run victory to snap their winless streak against India in the shorter format at the 9th time of asking and 12 in all formats. More than 4,000 spectators flocked to Stormont hoping to see India hand a record-breaking debut to batting sensation Vaibhav Suryavanshi. However, after India decided to hold the 15-year-old in reserve and opting to bowl first, New Ireland captain Lorcan Tucker led Ireland's batting charge with his half-century, helping the hosts post 182 for 9. In reply, India, they were dismissed for 148. To some football news now, as the United States could consider making a bid to host the men's 2038 World Cup, says the executive director of the White House World Cup Task Force, Andrew Gilani. The US are co-hosting the 2026 World Cup with Canada and Mexico, with the tournament having been expanded from 32 teams to 48. FIFA is considering expanding the format even further to 64 teams as early as 2030. The 2038 World Cup is the next one for which a bidding process will take place.
I think there's no better country that's positioned to host a World Cup than the United States. And I think we're seeing that on social media. I think we're seeing that with all the fans that may be interacting with the U.S. for the first time or the first time in a long time. That the U.S. truly is extremely welcoming, that we have such an incredible infrastructure. We have the stadiums built, right? So for the U.S. compared to other host nations where it costs tens and tens of billions of dollars, it cost us a couple $2 billion. Also just the base camp cities, right? When you think that this World Cup may at some point expand out to 64 teams.
Andrew Giuliani. The 2030 tournament will be co-hosted by Spain, Portugal and Morocco, while the opening 3 matches will be played in Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay to mark the competition's 100th anniversary. The 2034 tournament will be held in Saudi Arabia. Now, the race for top spot in Group I of the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup reaches its climax on Friday when Norway take on France in a blockbuster showdown at Boston Stadium with kickoff set for 2 p.m. Both teams have enjoyed impressive campaigns, making the encounter the standout fixture on Friday's 6-game schedule. The winner will secure first place in Group I and head into the knockout stage with valuable momentum. Elsewhere in Group I, Senegal will battle Iraq as both teams aim to keep their hopes of advancing to the round of 32 alive. In Group H, Uruguay face Spain in another high-profile contest, while Cape Verde meets Saudi Arabia. Group G action will round out the day's program with New Zealand taking on Belgium before Egypt square off against Iran. Nationwide 90 FM will provide live coverage throughout the day, beginning with our pre-game show at 1:30. Meanwhile, former England goalkeeper Joe Hart believes attackers are having a field day with goal scoring at the ongoing FIFA Men's World Cup. To date, some 177 goals have been scored, outpacing historic averages, with the group stage still in process. At the 2022 World Cup, a total of 172 goals were scored. According to Joe Hart, the Adidas try on the ball is proving difficult for goalkeepers to handle.
The only thing that I noticed is if you shoot along the floor, I don't think the trajectory is much different. People are still able to make quick, sharp saves. I think on the angles, they're still able to get a tip on the ball, and the goalkeepers have got their angles all sorted. I think the curling ball, so with the spin on, if I were to curl it with my right foot and it's spinning this way, I feel like the timing is fine for the goalkeepers, both left and right. Technique-wise, moving their feet, diving, not really having to watch the ball onto their hand. But when they hit that kind of flat shot that doesn't curl or spin like this, it almost goes straight, that's when I'm noticing that the goalkeepers are just losing their timing a little bit.
Hart earned 75 caps for the Three Lions, while also featuring at the 2010 and 2014 FIFA World Cup. For Hart, there are similarities between the Chayonda and the Jabulani ball used at the 2010 staging in South Africa.
But the Jabulani was actually frightening. I played a lot, obviously, out in South Africa with it, trained a lot with it, and obviously without getting any pitch action. I was kind of the training goalkeeper, so the likes of Steven Gerrard, Wayne Rooney, Sean Wright Phillips with that shot of his, Lampard, like how hard these guys hit the ball is hard enough as it is. But when you can't commit to the dive because you're not quite sure how it's going to move, the flatter shot that gets a little bit off the floor is just so difficult to time, and the speed it seems to pick up and the dip or it takes off. But that Jabulani was a frightening football, and it was really hard to control.
Joe Hart. Now, Jamaica Squash has crowned a new long ball champion after Gerozano Bell edged Joey Levy in a thrilling final at the association's second long ball tournament held at Ligani Club in New Kingston. Bell defeated Levy 2-1 in a closely contested championship match that showcased patience, precision, and endurance. Bell claimed the opening game 11-8 before Levy responded with an 11-9 victory in Game 2, setting up a dramatic decider. The final game lived up to expectations, with the lead changing hands throughout before the players were locked at 10-all. Bell eventually secured the winning point after a lengthy rally to take the game 11-10 and capture the 2026 long ball title. Bell praised the tournament's unique format, noting that long ball demands greater technical skill and patience than traditional squash.
It's a great tournament. The format, of course, calls for a little more technical skills. It's not heavily dependent on the physical part of it. Joey is a great player, a well-known past national player and one of the top senior men. So it was great. The tournament was good, and it's good to come out on top this time around.
Gerozano Bell. Well, that's all we have for your lunchtime sports report. Stick and stay, because World Cup action will be coming on the channel soon. So until then, stay tuned, stay glued, and stay locked in to Nationwide 90 FM.
I just wanna have fun. Some is envy a gold magnum. $700 give you one. That mean even if it's turn up. Magnum, the champion of dancehall. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Welcome to the new era of identity management. The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, brings together the Registrar General's Department and your secure national identification card under one organization. From birth and marriage services to your national ID card, NIRA delivers secure, simple, efficient service for Jamaicans. Visit our offices to learn more. NIRA, safeguarding your identity, securing your future. One secure identity.
In minutes, you're covered with Scotia Protect. In minutes, you're covered with Scotia Protect. It's the best you can get, and you won't have to fret. Oh no, no long forms, no long waiting. Just a few clicks, no time wasting. Get coverage for your home and auto, quick, no hesitating. With Scotia Protect.
Get home and auto insurance online in minutes with Scotia Protect. Powered by GK Insurance. Visit scotiaprotect.com today. Terms and conditions apply.
Recapping the top stories making the world at noon. PSOJ calls for Dr. Andrew Wheatley's head amid illicit enrichment allegations. FID secures forfeiture of $2 million in local and foreign currencies. Statin says manufacturing and mining costs went up in May. I'm Dana Davey. You can join the Nationwide Family Club at patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Good afternoon.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Barita, making money work for you.
Iran, three-time continental champions Iran, are Asian football royalty, but they are still to replicate that regional success on the global stage, having been unable to progress from the group stage in their 6 FIFA World Cup outings to date. Their previous appearances were in 1978, 1998, 2006, 2014, 2018, and 2022. Iran, one of the 48 countries participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals, and you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM during our live and extended coverage of the greatest show on earth.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Barita, making money work for you.
Managing your investments with Sagicor is now easy as ever. You can fund stocks, repos, and do more seamlessly. Even get a clear overview of your portfolio performance on the enhanced Sagicor eBank platform. Want to experience effortless investment banking on Sagicor eBank? It's as easy as ever. Contact your Sagicor Investment Wealth Advisor today and update your personal information for access. Call 888-SAGICOR or visit sagicor.com for more information.
And when this for the match day, whole team there when the fans say Biggie Box. Match day and we have the food, yeah. Biggie Box. We rep the same team and Wendy's FC every match day. Wendy's Biggie Box. Yes. Ready for the match with a Wendy's Biggie Box. Get a Dave's Classic or a spicy chicken sandwich or a grilled chicken sandwich or a classic chicken sandwich plus 4 nuggets, a medium fries and a drink all in one box. No matter which team you cheer for this summer, make it a Wendy's Biggie Box. Wendy's Biggie Box. We rep the same team and Wendy's FC every match day. Wendy's Biggie Box.
Your personal information matters. With a secure national identification card, only the information needed to confirm your identity is collected and protected. Only what is essential for your identity record. You control when and how your information is used. Feel safe. Feel secure. NIRA, safeguarding your identity, securing your future. One secure identity.
Double V invites you to celebrate their 57 years of service with complimentary appetizers and big discounts on jerk items. Join Double V from July 29 to August 1 in Ocho St. Anne. See you there!
How to change a tire, ride a bicycle, do your math homework, dads spend their lives teaching us lessons and helping us grow securely. Open a CIBC Caribbean fixed deposit account to honor dad and make lump sum deposits for birthdays, holidays, special occasions, or simply to express your appreciation and enjoy the returns. Deposit $250,000 or more and you'll receive a hardware store gift voucher for dad. Open your account today at CIBC Caribbean. Conditions apply.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back. We are on the home stretch of the program. And I'm being joined in the studio by five students, 4 girls and 1 boy. And they are from a school in Portland. They'll tell you where they are from. And they'll tell you a little bit about themselves. And their teacher is here as well. Well, 2 teachers here with them. One is on set with us, and we'll be hearing from them. You know, so let me ask the teacher first. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Come and speak in the mic so the country can hear you, man. Go again.
Good afternoon, sir.
Excellent. And what's your name, Mom?
My name is Noreen Polak.
Noreen Polak. Noreen Polak.
Yes.
And where are you from, Noreen Polak?
I am from the beautiful parish of Portland, in the community of Drapers.
Drapers. Good. And you're a teacher where?
I am the principal.
Oh, the principal, beg your pardon.
For the prestigious Drapers Basic School.
Yes.
Lycabot, Talawa.
How many children do you have at Drapers Basic School?
We have enrolled.
Yes.
We have 23 girls.
Yes.
And 17 boys.
So you have 40.
Yes.
40. And how many staff do you have?
Well, I have 3 teachers, the cook, the janitor.
Yes. All right. Good. So Noreen Polak from Drapers. All right. Let me hear from the youngsters now. Who will speak to me first? You want to go first? I'm talking to you. You right at the mic. You want to go first? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
What's your name?
My name is Kalisa Witter.
Kalisa Witter?
Yes.
And where are you from?
I'm from Drapers Basic School.
Drapers Basic School. Right. What is your favorite thing to do at school? That's fine. That's fine. What is your favorite thing to do at school?
My favorite thing to do at school is to read.
Is to read. Excellent. All right. Let somebody else come to the mic. You little one, go. This little one right here. No, all right. All right, yeah. You little one, come. It doesn't matter. The mic, she can reach your mic?
No, that is why I'm putting her here.
All right. All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Speak loud, man. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is your name?
I'm Annie Taylor.
I'm Annie Taylor. And you go to Drapers Basic School?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to do at school?
My favorite thing to do is learn.
Excellent. What's your best friend's name?
Best friend's
Yes.
name is...
Speak loudly, man, so we can hear.
My best friend's name is Azania.
Azania?
Yes.
Okay, good. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is lobster.
Lobster! All right, good. All right, come now. Where's the boy in the group? Put the boy up there and then I get to the rest of the girls. Come down, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is your name?
My name is Melanie Jifamila.
Okay, go again. Give me your name again.
My name is Melanie Jifamila.
Okay, what is tell me the name of one of your best friends.
My best friend name is Micah.
Micah. Okay. What do you love to eat?
I love to eat curry chicken.
Curry chicken. You like dumpling or you like rice?
No, I like curry chicken.
You like curry chicken. You don't like dumpling or rice? No. Just curry chicken.
And rice.
And rice. I love it.
Rice.
Curry rice. Yes. What do you love to do at school?
I think I go to school to learn.
You go to school to learn. All right. Good. Come now. Let one of the girls go now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danish Wright.
Danish, right? Yes. What do you love to eat at school?
Cabbage.
You like to eat cabbage? You like to eat cabbage at your house as well at home? And somebody you like to eat cabbage at home?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do? What do you like to do after school?
Play.
What game do you like to play? What game? Chinese. You can play Chinese skip?
Yes.
Okay. Are you good at Chinese skip?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me the name of your best friend.
Natori.
Natori?
Yes.
Okay, good. When you grow big, what you want to be?
I want police.
You want to be police?
Yes.
All right, good. Let me hear from the other one now. Come now, you. I'm going to come back to you. Good afternoon, little miss.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
Fine.
What is your name?
My name is Lator Sanaya Kuzli.
Kuzli. Okay. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is cabbage.
Cabbage? Yes. Okay. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Blue. Hold on. What do you like to drink?
Water.
You like water. Okay. What do you want to be when you grow big?
I want to be a police.
You want to be police as well? All right. So, well, that's all of them. I hear that they're going to do a poem for us. Yes. Put them together now and let us get it. Put them together and get it. See if you can put the two mic. Hold on there. Good. All right. So when you're ready. When you're ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hey! Uno didn't know that picnic right? Yes! Just like any big smarty. We I gonna tell Uno but them picnic the right to be earned. That means that Uno listen to them when no one chat. And start telling me shut up them both. When picnic sick, carry the doctor, make them get good, look after. Them live in a safe, clean, and happy home. Them figure school every day, go play and learn. Make them get bright like a stadium bulb.
That's it. Thank you very much. Give yourself a clap now. Give yourself. Clap on yourself. Clap on yourself. Very good. So I know that we have two police perspective in the group. What do you want to be? Go to the microphone and tell me what you want to be. Wait now.
I want to be an air hostess.
You want to be an air hostess? Good. And what you want to be?
I want to be a soldier.
Soldier. Good. And the one at the end? You had said police?
Yes.
So the two police them? Yes. What you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a police when I grow up.
Okay, good. All right. Wait, before they leave, everybody have to tell me their mother and their father's name. Starting with you at the end. Come and tell me what. Come, you first. Come. What is your mother's name? Talk in the mic.
My mother's name is Patrice Bacon.
And what is your father's name?
My father's name is...
Go ahead, man. Tell us. Dennis Wright. All right. Good. Come now. Next one. Come now. Tell me your father. What is your father's name?
My father's name is Andrew Witter.
Good. And what is your mother's name?
My mother's name is Chantel.
Thank you. Next. What's your father's name, bro? What's your father's name? Tell me.
My father's name is Ruan.
Ruan, what's your mother's name?
My mother's name is Monique.
Oh, good. All right, next. Good. Come, little miss. Go ahead. What's your mother's name?
My mother's name is Janice Duffas.
And your father's name?
My father's name is Dwayne Taylor.
Excellent. Next one. What's your father's name?
My father.
Yes.
My father's name is Chin.
And what's your mother's name?
My mother's name is Titch.
All right, good. That's the last one. Excellent. All right, Principal, before you go, what you want to say to the Drapers community and about supporting you as you develop the children. Speak in the microphone, Madam Principal Noreen. Come.
All right. Well, we have coming to the end of the school term.
Yes.
And I just want to express sincere thanks.
Yes.
To my entire community.
Yes.
My team of teachers, Miss Simone Garden and Miss Douglas, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to express thanks to the cook, Miss Dell.
Yes.
All who supported us. My husband,
yes,
George Polak. And I want to say special thanks to Miss Carla Golato, Mr. Mike Pickersgill, Miss Simone Engleton, who is our board chairperson.
Yes.
I want to say thank you to our developmental officers, Miss Pauline Jemison.
Yes.
And a host of others who continue to support us. If I call all the names,
yes,
I wouldn't take up the whole studio.
The whole studio, all right.
I don't want to do, but you know yourself. Thank you, thank you. Not forgetting the Suttons.
Yes.
Thank you all for your support.
Excellent. There was one of them who never told me what she wanted to do when she grew up. Come, little miss, come around here and go and tell me. Go and talk in the mic and tell us what you want to be when you grow up. When you get big. Yes, go ahead.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right, give yourself a round of applause. The students from Draper's Infant.
And I just want to thank all the staff members,
yes,
of Nationwide,
yes,
for having us today.
Excellent. Excellent, Principal. Excellent. All right, yeah, man, you're good. All right, so children there from Draper's Infant School in Portland. You're welcome, Mom, anytime. Thank you. And your name, Mom? Come on, the camera, you can't come from so far and don't come on this song. Come on, just come right here, sir. Come right here, sir, and tell us a name and what you do. Right here, tell me now. Yeah, man, just talk.
I am Cordelia from Portland.
Yes.
I work at the Draper's Basic School.
Yes.
I am their chef.
Yes.
And I live in Ferry Hill.
Excellent. Thank you, Mom. All the best, yeah?
Thank you.
And continue working with the children. All right, we'll take a break and we come back.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by the UDC, making development happen.
Ghana, the Black Stars, have appeared in the finals of the FIFA World Cup on 4 previous occasions: 2006, 2010, where they reached the quarterfinals, 2014, and 2022. They will make a 5th appearance at the upcoming tournament in 2026 and will represent one of Africa's best hopes. Ghana, the Black Stars, one of 48 countries, will be participating at the FIFA World Cup, and you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM, who will have live and extended coverage of the greatest show on earth.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by the UDC, making development happen.
When life brings dreams, both big and small, you need a place that welcomes all. A helping hand, a friendly way. CNWJ Credit Union. People who care every day. Saving, growing side by side with a community full of pride.
Serving Jamaica since 1961, CNWJ Cooperative Credit Union. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Jamaica. Our identity is more than just a name. It's who we are. The National ID card helps Jamaicans confirm who they are, access government services, and unlock new opportunities and prove your identity with confidence. Enroll today and be part of building a stronger, more connected Jamaica. Your ID, your identity. NERA, proudly serving Jamaica. One secure identity.
Ray nephew, feel with culture. Pass the Ray, yeah, me want it. Feel all the vibes with me party.
The recommended selling price at the nearest community bar for Ray nephew. Campari or Kingston 62 is only $300 per drink and $1,800 per flask. Must be 18 years old to drink. Drink responsibly.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady.
Back with us, well, the principal of Draper's Infant School in Portland, Noreen Polak, says there's one other person she wants to give some love to before she leaves.
I would like to say special thanks to Miss Nikki Myers. She's the one who organized all our exciting field trips. She make the connection. She does all the work. Nikki, thank you so very, very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much, Ms. Noreen. And drive well, travel well with the children back to Draper's. Yeah, man, you're welcome. Anytime. Anytime. That's fine. That's fine. No problem. Thank you very much, Mom. All right. Good. All right. It's 12:51. Nora, is there only enough time to say goodbye? I would say that the World Cup. I could talk about the World Cup before we leave. So what is true is that we're gonna have an outside broadcast. Oh, I saw Orion out there just now. Is Orion out there, Kevin? Tell Orion to come and draw his chair. And tell me about the OB quickly. You're tall, you can talk down. Country people, that's it. Yeah. No, man, you need a chair. Just put up at the chair there. And so you can inshallah. Relax your brain, man. I mean, yeah, work. You can't go wrong. Yeah. All right. So we have an outside broadcast today in Crossroads with one of our sponsors for the World Cup broadcast. Wayne Walker will be handling that with Alric as his producer. And then on Sunday, we have an outside broadcast at Trackside Records, which you know about. So what is happening from Sunday? We gave the listeners and the viewers a studio show to start the tournament, but we haven't had any for the group phase. Why is it that we're having one now starting Sunday?
Because the round of 32 starts on Sunday. Massive game. Now it's the do or die now.
Yes. Winner go home. Winner stay home.
Exactly. Canada, we're kicking off proceeding with Canada versus South Korea on Sunday.
Yes.
So we have a half an hour build up.
Yes.
Game is at 2.
Yes.
And then we have a 30 minutes post game.
Yes.
So from 1:30 to 4:30.
Yes.
Nationwide will be the channel that you have to tune into.
Yes.
And we're coming from Trackside Records.
Trackside Records, yeah, that great venue. And then, so for those who say, boy, they wanted more studio shows, now is the phase of the tournament where they'll be getting the studio shows every day.
Every World Cup game starting on Sunday will be on Nationwide 90 FM. So
Yes.
tune in, analysis, everything, pre-game,
Yes.
the game, post-game will be on Nationwide.
Excellent.
A lot of work, so...
Yes.
And
you have so crunch time now and all the way up to the final.
Yes, sir.
All the way. And your analysts, you've picked your analysts, people who've been coaching at the highest level in Jamaica. You have FIFA referees as well as part of you. And I understand that you have a medical perspective as well. A medical expert in sports science is also available to help you.
All areas.
So you're covering all areas.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. And then all people have to do is just tune in.
Tune into Nationwide, you get everything you want. The best analysis in the country,
Yes.
you'll get it here.
Yes.
As you said, we have ticked every box. We have Andrew Price,
Yes.
Calvert Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Peter Prendergast,
Yes.
every single one that you think, every area that you think we would need to cover,
Yes.
we have it covered.
We have
So
it
just
covered.
tune in and we'll tick that box.
All right. Good. Excellent. Well, good job so far, and we look forward to the rest of the execution.
You haven't tell the viewers and listeners, George, about your favorites,
My favorites?
You've listed
No.
a lot. You've listed a lot.
No, man. So
France, Spain, Argentina,
Yeah,
all
man.
the big
Yeah,
ones. If you have to narrow it down to 2, the finalists for the 2026 World Cup.
Let me tell you,
Give me 2.
I've always felt that in competitions, especially in a football competition, the team with the best bench is the favorite. France's bench is frightening. When I look at who come off of the bench, Cherky last on the bench, sometimes Barcola on the bench, or Desiree Doué. Kante can't get a game.
Cannot get a game.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The bench is the bench better than most of the starting levels for most of the other teams.
That is correct.
Yeah, the Argentines are going to go deep. Messi's going to carry them far. The Spanish should be getting even better. I think the Brazilians have gotten better with each game, for sure. Yeah. First game awful, second game a little bit better, third game much
Like the
better.
Brazil of old.
Yeah, man, and they're coming together now. And that's how you win tournaments. You don't win it from the first game where you're flashy. Yeah. The Moroccans will. Who are they playing in the knockout?
Netherlands.
That's a tough one.
That's
a tough one.
Very tough.
That's
game.
a tough one.
Very tough. Yeah. If I have to, I'm going with Morocco for that.
Yeah, you're going Morocco.
I'm going Morocco with that one.
Yeah, well, I have to go with pedigree. So I have to go with the Dutch. Yeah. But as I said, I'm enjoying the tournament better than you guys.
Yes.
Because
it's
well on.
Yes.
You need to tell the people. You need to tell the people how you need a hard feeling when Belgium has struggled the other night. You understand? I don't have that.
And tonight is going to be another night where you have to be on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
I know it's New Zealand, but based on how the World Cup is going so far, you cannot take anything.
Everybody knows New Zealand. Chris would have got Farky into for the side.
Because we have to win. We have to win.
Yes.
We have to beat New Zealand tonight. And hopefully that the Egypt-Iran game goes in our favor. But however, we still can top the group.
All right.
We still can top the group. So fingers crossed we can
So
get through.
so me hear some people say, boy, me see all kind of jersey. Me say, yeah, jersey them look good.
Yes, that is true.
Jersey them look good. So I will
giving England a strength.
Yeah, man, and for, oh my God, it's France jerseys to die for, people.
Yes,
yeah,
that
the
is
away one. Anyway, so we're enjoying the tournament and we're broadcasting the tournament for you. And you've asked for the studio shows. The studio shows are back from Sunday. We have a little teaser today with an outside broadcast, World Cup themed, this afternoon with Wayne Walker. And then from Sunday, as Orion said, it is World Cup preview and analysis shows around the games as we deliver them to you from the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Thank you, Orion.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Cliff Hughes Online today. I want to thank Nora Gay Banton. I want to thank Kevin Williams. I want to thank Michelle McCrae Smith. I want to thank all of you out there for watching and listening. On Monday, Cliff returns to his chair.
Cliff Hughes Online.
Like a rock. My hands were steady.
Welcome to Oasis, brought to you by the New Testament Church of God, 65 Waltham Park Road, Kingston 11. The church that is one big family.
Hi, I'm Loy Gale. Thanks for joining me. We're still into sharing the land among the Israelites. As promised, here is the update on what went to Reuben. To the tribe of Reuben, clan by clan, Moses gave the land from Aurora at the edge of the Arnon Gorge and the town in the middle of the valley, including the tableland around Medeba. Heshbon on the tableland with all its towns, Dibon, Bamoth, Beel, Beth Baal Meon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mephath, Kiriathim, Sibmah, Sireth Shahar on valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, Beth Jeshimoth, and all the cities of the tableland, the whole kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who ruled at Heshbon, whom Moses put to death along with the princes of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Zer, Hur, and Reba, who lived in that country, all puppets of Sihon. In addition to those killed in battle, Balaam, son of Beor, the soothsayer, he was put to death by the people of Israel. The boundary for the Reubenites was the bank of the Jordan River. This was the inheritance of the Reubenites, their villages and cities, according to their clans. Joshua 13, verses 15 to 23 from the Message. A contemporary rendering of the Bible from the original languages by Eugene Peterson. Next time, we'll learn what went to the tribe of Gad and others. Have a good afternoon.
Today's drink was brought to you by the New Testament Church of God, 65 Waltham Park Road, Kingston 11. The church that is one big family.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Money move like a bird, like a plane, it's a blur. Money quick, money fast, money reach in a flash. This your agent no run out of cash. Pay the rent, pay the bills or buy the grocery. Make a call for the cash and pay the school fee.
Money when and where you need it. Alliance MoneyGram and Ria Money Transfer. Convenient locations island-wide. A member of Sagicor Group Jamaica.
Tell me where you get the money transfer.
I just wanna have fun. Some is envy a gold magnum. $700 give you one. That mean even if it's turn up. Magnum, the champion of dancehall. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Hey, turn up to 25. Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah. I touch a million cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.